Right, you ready for part 2?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I bring you on this podcast so I don't have to do the thinking. You're supposed to be doing the thinking.
Why me?
Because you said, and I've got it on video, I do research for this podcast. That's what you said, and I've got it on video. So I do research for this podcast.
I do research for this podcast.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Ahead of the Apex. I'm your host Josh, and today once again I'm joined by Jake. Say hi, Jake.
Hello, everyone.
And today we are finishing off our MotoGP mid-season rider rankings. That is a tongue twister and a half, isn't it, Jake?
Yep, say it correctly. Say it slowly.
Today we are starting from Honda and working our way forwards. So if you haven't heard Aprilia and Ducati, go ahead and listen to the last week's episode and then catch up with us on this week's episode, because otherwise you might be completely lost as to why Jake's given Marc Marquez a 3. That was brutal. Why would you do that? Sick person. Sick in the head. Yeah, I mean, he won the World Championship, but like 4 out of 10. I mean, that was Jake last year. For those who don't know, we'll also be tackling some of your questions in today's episode. And if you want that to be you, you can get in touch with us via our social channels. The best way to get in touch with us is to head over to our Patreon, AAT Apex, and become a member. It's totally free, and you can get involved with our From Our Perspective series as well as race chats. And you can, of course, send us your questions for every podcast recording session, which is roughly every 2 weeks. Apart from at the minute, because we seem to be churning them out every single week and getting it nice ahead of the summer break. Finally, why not leave us a review and comment on Spotify or wherever it is you like to get your podcasts. You don't know if you actually have to like the podcast, because, I mean, Jake's on it. So, just leave us a 5-star review and help us with the algorithm. That would be great, because we need to find more immense motorsport fans like you. You can also find the podcast on YouTube, Amazon Music, Castbox, Deezer, and wherever it is you like to get your podcasts, apart from Apple Podcasts, because Tim Cook sucks. Right, Jake, let's get on with it.
Yep, let's go.
Okay. So, quick, brief catch up as to where we are in the season. So we have a bit of a, we described it as an 8-way fight for the title, but I really think it's now a 3 or 4-way fight for the title. So Jorge Martin currently leads the way as of time of recording. We are pre-Silverstone Grand Prix, so we have no idea what's going to happen. With 208 points, 14 points ahead of Trackhouse Aprilia man Ayagura with 194 points. And in third place, we have Marc Marquez with 190 points. But Josh, what happened to Marco Bezzecchi? Jake, that's a great question. Marco Bezzecchi has spent the last 4 or 5 races throwing his title championship down the toilet. He was crashed into in Hungary, not really his fault. He received a race ban at the Czech Republic for slapping a marshal during the sprint race. I said that again. During the sprint race, after he crashed in the sprint race, he had a huge crash at the Dutch Grand Prix in Assen. At the final couple of corners, the high speed before the chicane. I think turn 12, I think.
That rings a bell, yeah.
And then he suffered a collarbone fracture at the German Grand Prix during Q2, which has left him out which left him out of the Grand Prix, and may well, we don't know yet, leave him out of the British Grand Prix this weekend. We will find out in a few days when the riders turn up and start hitting the track. As for Marc Marquez, the reason he's in third is because he has spent the last 4 Grand Prix winning races. So he took the win. Did he take the double in Hungary and in Germany? Yes, because Bagnaia won the sprint in the Czech Republic. And he's been on the podium in the interim. He's basically chunked a huge amount of points out of the Aprilias ahead, and he sits second on the all-time win list for this season. Jorge Martin only has 1 race win, Aigura 1 race win, Marc Marquez 3, and Marco Bezzecchi 4. In 5th place, we have Fabio Di Gianantonio, who we consider one of the 4 riders capable of winning the championship this year, who sits just 2 points behind Marco Bezzecchi in 4th place. Fabio has 1 win compared to Bez's 4, but we suspect that may well be the last of Bez's wins this year. All of that was discussed in the first part of the season. We've also got wildcard riders to discuss in this week's podcast as well. So we've got, who have we got? Cal Crutchlow, Jonas Folger, and Augusto Fernandez to discuss. If you are unaware of how this works, because you haven't listened to our mid-season rider rankings last year, our end-of-season rider rankings last year, our Formula One version last year, or the first half of this podcast, here's how this works. We have the list of the riders in front of us. Jake and I will go through them, discuss a few things, then we will give our numbers. That calculates an average for that rider. Then once we've done both riders or all riders for a team, we will get an average for the team. Once we have all the teams, we will have an average for the manufacturers, and we will go through the list like that. That makes sense, Jake?
Yep, that's perfectly clear.
Okay, let's go to Honda then.
Yep.
So. Because of the unique way that MotoGP lists their teams on their website, we are actually going to start with LCR Honda. This was a tough one for me because Johann Zarco hasn't been on the bike since Barcelona.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of, I guess, look up the head-to-head between Johann Zarco and Diogo Moreira. Do you know it was like 4-1 basically in the 5 Grand Prix that they raced together?
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously Zarco didn't finish. Anyway, I think the only one that he was beaten on was Texas. Texas? This ain't Texas. 4-1 in the race performance between the two of them. Zarco in Thailand was 2 positions higher. Zarco in Brazil was 4 positions higher. Moreira finished 13th in Texas. Zarco DNF'd. Zarco 10 positions higher in Jerez. And then Zarco 11th in France and Moreira DNF'd with a crash. And then obviously Catalunya, Zarco was running 5th during the Grand Prix. And then at the restart, he was running high.
Yeah,
and then at the restart, he got caught underneath Bagnaia's wheel and may never ride a motorcycle again. We don't know.
No idea.
So since then, Moreira has been partnered against Cal Crutchlow, and that seems a bit of an unfair advantage because Cal Crutchlow hasn't really ridden a MotoGP bike in a few years, and
he's in his 40s.
And that's a difficult one to maintain. So, given that Zarco was thrashing Moreira, but Moreira has since been actually pretty good. Diogo Moreira, 15th in the championship standings with 48 points, and he is ahead of Zarco, obviously.
Yeah.
And ahead of Mir, but he is not ahead of Marini. He is, how many points behind is he? 31 points behind Marini. But we have to remember he's in his rookie season.
And on the satellite team bike.
What's that supposed to mean? I thought the Honda bikes were the same.
You never know.
Are they not the same?
You never know.
What do you mean you never know? I bring you on this podcast to know. What use are you if you don't know? Go out and find it. I bring you on this podcast so I don't have to do the thinking. You're supposed to be doing the thinking.
Why me?
Because you said, and I've got it on video, I do research for this podcast. That's what you said, and I've got it on video. In fact, you probably said it something like this. I do research for this podcast. Wait. Now you need to speak. Say it. I do research for this podcast.
I do research for this podcast.
There you go. You see?
Okay.
I've got it again. Ha!
Okay.
What is today? So, assuming that they're roughly the same. Look, I've rated Moreira high because it is his rookie season and he has been impressive and we cannot take that away from him at all. I've given them both a 7.5 because I think they've both been outperforming the Honda.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it is Moreira's rookie season. And, I mean, Aguro in his rookie season didn't look particularly championship contending the next season.
I'm not saying Moreira's a championship contender either.
No. I'm just saying that rookie seasons aren't evident of talent or ability.
I've just not factored in the Honda into their rankings.
Yeah. I like Moreira. I think he's got that.
He doesn't know you.
Yeah, all right.
I don't know you.
I think he's got that innate ability to kind of get to grips with new technology, new machinery quite quickly because his first few races weren't particularly great and then he just started to improve them regularly.
Moreira is giving Honda a headache.
Yes.
Because they have signed David Alonso.
Yes.
But they don't know where to put David Alonso.
No.
They don't know whether to put David Alonso in the factory team and keep Moreira where he is or put Moreira in the factory team and put David Alonso in the satellite team.
I think obviously Zarco does kind of also cause a bit of a pondery to Honda whether he's able to get on the bike again.
Hondery. You with big words. I don't know. You knew big words.
Because obviously you could put...
That's what it is. The T-shirt gave you away as someone not knowing big words.
Sure. I think...
No McLaren fan knows pondery.
Okay. I think obviously Zarco kind of works in LCR rather than the factory team. Just as an experienced head to guide.
Zarco's got a couple of years left in him. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, let's not put him in a factory team for no reason.
Yeah. There's the case to be put that Zarco might not get on the bike again with that injury. It wasn't particularly the most pleasant.
In which case, Honda have another headache.
Exactly.
Because do they put Alonso in the satellite team alongside Moreira, but then who do they put in the factory team?
Yep.
They actually haven't confirmed...
Marini.
They've confirmed Quartararo for HCR. That's it.
They kind of have 3 seats for...
Oh my God, wait, we haven't
riders.
announced that on the podcast yet.
Yeah.
Fabio Quartararo is going to HSE.
Yeah.
Done. Next.
They kind of have 4 riders for 3 seats. And I feel like because of the quality that Honda kind of have with David Alonso and Moreira, it's going to be a problem.
Who's the 4th rider?
Well, Zarco, Marini, Moreira.
Oh,
Alonso.
okay. I'm counting 3 for 2 seats. You're counting Zarco for Zarco's seat, even though Zarco has already confirmed for a seat next year, but he might not get back on a bike.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
I think hurt my head as much as the second half of the race that was 3 halves.
Yeah. I feel like Moreira is probably pushing a 7, but I'd say 6.5, just because he hasn't been particularly incredible. The start of the season wasn't particularly amazing. I don't think I can give Zarco anything higher than a 5.
Come on. It's not been his fault.
It's not been his fault.
He was a ragdoll.
It wasn't a particularly pleasant to watch crash. But I think a 5.5 kind of fits about right for me. I think if I go a bit higher, it starts to feel a bit wrong based on who else I've rated and ranked. But I think a 5.5 will probably be the number I go for. Just
you're horrible.
Not horrible.
You are properly horrible to Johann Zarco. What's he ever done to you? 5.5.
He's done nothing to me.
So,
I don't know him.
Given that I give a 7.5 to each of them, that takes Johan Zarco to 6.5 and Diogo Moreira to 7 because Jake's horrible. And Honda LCR 7.3 from me, 6 from Jake, 6.7 in total. Right, HRC. This is where it gets a bit interesting.
Yep.
Okay, so Luca Marini sits in 10th place, just 8 points behind Alex Marquez. He is the lead Honda rider despite poor single lap pace. He has been far out qualified by his teammate, Joan Mir, who is leading the qualifying 10-1.
Yeah.
However, Mir's got 6 DNFs this year, meaning he only has 26 points. And Marini has 79 points. And I feel like we often see Marini putting that bike in places it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So, Thailand, Marini 10th, Mir DNF. Brazil, 11th, DNF. America, 9th, DNF. Spain, 13th, 15th. France, 10th, DNF. Barcelona, 6th, 13th. Mugello, 13th, 12th. So that's the only time Mir's beaten him. Sorry, that's even a lie. I'm not even looking at the table further down. Hungary, 5th, DNF. Czech, 8th, 5th. Netherlands, 10th DNF. Germany, 8th DNF. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 DNFs in total. For Joan Mir, only twice he's beaten his teammate. And then 1, 2... and one time he hasn't. So, if we look at that, no, twice he hasn't, twice he has. So if we're looking at that, if we assume he stays on the bike, 50% of the time he beats his teammate. The problem is he doesn't know how to stay on the bike.
Yeah.
And this year I feel like it's not people crashing into Joan Mir, it's Joan Mir having crashes by himself. More often so. Last year it was like Joan Mir was people crashing into him. This year it doesn't feel like that. It
feels weird being like, oh, look, Marini's better than Joan Mir. Bearing in mind, Mir is a world champion.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even do Cal Crutchlow. We're so dumb.
Well, we can do Cal Crutchlow.
Yeah, we will do Cal Crutchlow in a minute.
Yeah, so it's just Marini is a good rider, and I think he's there is sort of a reason to contemplate putting him in that seat next year. Obviously, Mir's leaving, but I think it's disappointing for Mir just because compared to last year, a lot of the instances where he was off the bike was kind of out of his control.
Yeah.
And he was in good scoring positions or getting points, performing well, and then someone would come at the inside of him and knock him off.
Steady on.
Okay. And you can be like, oh, he is world champion, he's DNFing, but it's not his fault.
Yeah.
This year it feels like it's almost entirely him. Just losing the bike, not being able to keep it up, or not being able to stay on it, and it's kind of just a bit like, oh.
Sorry. Not able to keep it up, coming inside of him. It's all getting a bit much.
It's not intentional.
It's all just getting a bit much. Yeah.
I think in terms of ratings, I think Marini is a 6.5.
Okay. I gave him a 7.
Yeah, I think obviously beating him on points, losing to him in qualifying kind of dictates that 6.5 rather than it being 7.
1 time. Oh no. 9 times.
Yeah.
10 times.
But obviously there are instances of we don't really know where Mir could have finished because he didn't finish.
If Mir can finish.
You never know.
He can't finish. People are coming inside of him and he can't keep it up. I mean, poor guy, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
What a poor guy. I'm going to give him a 10. I'm going to give him a 10 because he seems like he's having a hard time. Well, or not. They would
clearly not.
What even is this podcast?
I think I've got to give Mir a 5, if I'm honest.
Really? I gave him a 2.
I think he has the speed and he's on a decent bike. It's not a bike that's at the back of the grid, but he's also not fighting for podiums. He should be able to get finish and get points. Marini is the world champion. He just can't stay on the bike. And I think...
So to summarise, Joan Mir is too fast. He keeps getting come inside of him. And he can't keep it up. And he can't stay hard. So he's having a hard time. There we go. But that's what we've decided about Joan Mir. Now, just to finish Honda off, let's do Cal Crutchlow. So for those who don't know, Cal Crutchlow, former British Superbike rider, came to MotoGP with Honda, left a few years ago, 3 years ago.
It's before I really started watching it, but yeah.
2 to 3 years ago, left MotoGP. In his early 40s now, came back to replace Johan Zarco. His wife convinced him to do it. And while he hasn't had a huge amount of points, or any points, actually, I don't even know why I said a huge amount of points. His return has been described by other veterans as mind-blowing, given how fast and hard these bikes are to ride. He has had finishes at Hungary, Czech Republic, the Netherlands, with a best finish of 16th, but is yet to score points, and has been battling World Superbike champion Toprak Razgat Lioglu at the back. I've given Cal a 7 because that Honda is not great. We know that's not great. Cal is older than everybody else on the grid. In fact, he might be about as old as LCR's lineup for next year, combined, if Johan Zarco doesn't come back. And he's battling another old guy at the back on a slow bike, but, he's staying on the bike, which is something Joan Mir isn't doing. Yeah. So I give him a 7. What do you think?
Yeah, I think a 7. I think a 7 is fair. He's come in, studying for Zarco. At the start of the year, if you'd asked him, "Are you going to be back in MotoGP?" he probably would have laughed in your face. Well,
LCR rang him. He said no, and then his wife said, "Do it."
Yeah, exactly.
So,
right. So it's a nice story. I mean, coming back for Honda to help them out. Blah, blah, blah. Obviously, he is older. He was in for points at Sachsenring, but crashed. Find out with Toprak at the end. So I think a 7 is a fair scoring point.
You're going to give him a 7?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 7 on average. So just to correct LCR, 7.3 from me, 6.3 from Jake, 6.8 total. With Marini and Mir, so Marini gets a 6.8 average, Mir gets a 3.5 average. That takes HRC to 4.5 average from me, 5.8 from Jake, and a 5.1 average. Honda overall then as a manufacturer, 5.9 from me, 6 from Jake, 6 average. Right, KTM.
Yep.
Okay. Brad Binder and Pedro Acosta are teammates at the KTM factory team. Qualifying head-to-head, Pedro Acosta 11-0. And on Sunday, Costa consistently drags that KTM to places it shouldn't be. So we've had a sprint win at the start of the year, nearly a Grand Prix win as well, nearly 2 Grand Prix wins.
Yep.
Binder has nothing but issues, consistently out in Q1 almost every weekend, and in the standings, where are they? Pedro Acosta is 7th with 148 points. And Brad Binder is 13th with 64 points. So over half. More than double the points of his teammate. Reliability has obviously been an issue for KTM. I've tried not to factor that in. Binder, I gave a 4-2, and Acosta, I gave an 8-2, because I think Binder, he is he the next best KTM rider? No.
I think Bastianini is a little bit.
Bastianini is. The KTM riders, they were difficult for me to rate because Mav has been terrible. Bastianini's been average. Binder, I think I'm going to drop to a 3, and then I'm going to drop Bastianini a little bit as well. But I'm going to keep Acosta at 8. Thoughts?
I'm not really surprised by the head-to-head, I have to admit.
No.
Acosta is just... Obviously, he's been seen as this sort of successor to Mark's sort of legacy, as it were.
No, he hasn't.
A lot of people have.
No, he hasn't. That's just you and your stupid orange army.
Okay. But...
Only one orange army, as far as I'm concerned, and that's for Max Verstappen.
Okay. Okay.
In my head, it's the...
Oh, yeah, I know.
I'm going to program that on one of these buttons just to really piss you off.
Pedro Acosta has kind of been in a battle between Aprilia and Ducati. He's kind of been a little bit of fresh air coming into that sort of, I won't say title fight, but discussion of who's going to sort of be up there fighting for wins and podiums. Still hasn't got that race win. Could have done. A few instances where he's just not had it, or the bike has kind of let him down. I'd give him sort of a 9, really.
Acosta, qualifying, sprint, Grand Prix results in order. 6th versus 2nd. 9th, DNF 7th. America, 2nd, DNF 3rd. Spain, 6th, DNF 10th. France, 4th, DNF 5th. Barcelona, 1st, 2nd, DNF. Italy, 10th, DNF 6th. Hungary, 2nd, 2nd, 2nd. Czech Republic, 8th, DNF. Netherlands, 8th, DNF. Germany, 14th, 4th, 4th.
Yep.
Very impressive.
Yeah, especially on taking into account that how, I won't say bad, but how lackluster that KTM is in terms of comparing it to Ducati and Aprilia. It generally just doesn't have anywhere near the sort of pace and tire longevity. Acosta dragging it to a podium is insane. It kind of gives credit to the fact he's got a factory Ducati drive rider next year. 3
podiums, nearly a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's obviously Brad Binder's been there for a while. And
what are you giving Binder?
I don't want to be too harsh to him, but he has kind of underperformed to where I would.
You don't want to be harsh to him, but you'll absolutely drag Marc Marquez under the bus.
I haven't dragged Marquez under the bus.
And Francesco Bagnaia under the bus, and Fermin Aldeguer, and Johan Zarco. I mean, what's wrong with you? Oh no, Brad Binder. No, we've got to give Brad Binder a good score. Honestly,
it's not give him a good score. It's don't give him a 0.
Don't give Brad Binder a good score, but we could. Johan Zarco's been in hospital for 3 months, but we're going to give him a bad result. And Marc Marquez won the world championship, but I'm going to give him a 4. What's wrong with you?
I think I've kind of got to give him a 3.
Oh right, okay, that's what I give him.
Like, it's a case of it's not a very good bike. But he also is against Costa, but he also is underperforming to where I would expect him to finish. And also bear in mind, he is on the factory bike. He is in the factory team. I would expect him to be the second best KTM, and he isn't.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's just my head thinking that a factory team should have 1, 2, and then the satellite team should be 3, 4.
No, I get you. I'm on board with that. So Binder gets a 3.33, and Acosta gets an 8.9, 8.5, which takes factory KTM to 5.5 from me, 6 from Jake, 5.8 overall. Okay, Tech 3. Right. God, where do I start with Tech 3? That team is a bit of a mess. Enea Bastianini sits 12th in the standings with 76 points in his second season with KTM.
Yep.
So doing okay. Maverick Vinales sits 22nd in the championship with 10 points. He is the last of the riders who have points. Is that correct?
I think so.
I'm double checking. No. No, he's not. Ike Lekawona has 9 points.
Full-time riders, I think he is.
Yeah. And Augusto Fernandez has 5 points. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah.
He is the last of the full-time riders. You are correct. I mean, I guess if Johan Zarco has only done 5 races.
Yeah.
And sits 17th.
It's ridiculous.
Which is just nuts. Right. I actually had to look up Mav's season because it has been quite the mess. So
very rarely he gets featured on
injury
TV,
struggles, poor performances, and explosive backstage fallout. That's what's been surmised here. Viñales started the season on an injury from last year, lied about it, came back anyway, had to withdraw from the US Grand Prix in April to undergo surgery, finished 11th in Barcelona, but then decided his physical condition wasn't good enough anyway, so took another break, then came back again, and at the German Grand Prix in July, he qualified 19th, failed to finish the race, admitted that he cannot ride the KTM at 100% capacity. In the background, he's been quite vocal about how KTM are struggling. His management have been kicking off with KTM. There's heavy friction between Viñales and Tech 3 Gunter Steiner. Viñales has publicly criticized the team, claiming they are targeting him with criticism rather than offering support. He's also alleged that KTM sent him a contract extension before they then withdrew it.
Yeah.
KTM have denied all of this.
Of course they have.
In early August, major reports resurfaced revealing that KTM is actively trying to drop Viñales with immediate effect ahead of the British Grand Prix, planning to replace him with test rider Pol Espargaro for the rest of the season. Viñales immediately hit back on social media, forcefully denying that he is leaving early and vowing that he intends to fulfill his contract and finish out the 2026 season. Right.
Drama.
Yeah. I initially gave him a 0 until I realized he actually scored some points.
Yeah.
So I have bumped him to a 1. In the head-to-head, he sits 8-3 compared to Bastianini in qualifying.
Yep.
And obviously Bastianini has significantly outscored him. So I decided to sit Bastianini right in the middle of our rankings because I can't remember the last time I heard his name, but I can sometimes I've noticed that he's up there with Binder and Acosta and then falls back, whereas Acosta doesn't and Binder does. But equally, I can't remember the last time I was like, oh, he DNF'd for a stupid reason.
Yeah, he's not been,
he's had the share of reliability issues, as has Binder, as has Acosta.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the last time he just chucked it into a wall for no reason.
Yeah, last year it was very much the case that you were seeing him a lot, but you were seeing him in the gravel.
Yeah, but this year
you just haven't. You just haven't seen him.
So I gave him a 5. And then with Mav, okay, there's one thing of saying right, I'm injured. So either my performance isn't going to be there, or I'm going to take time off. One of those two things happens. But then I'm injured, but I'm lying about it. Not good. I'm injured, I'm going to be here, then I'm not going to be here, then I am going to be here, then I'm not going to be here. That's another thing altogether.
Yeah.
And then there's one thing then to be injured, right? There's another thing to be slow. There's another thing to be slow because you're injured and not just go, I can't do this. And then there's one thing to be injured or slow or both, and then also kick off with the team. Right? There's too many things here, right?
Yeah.
It's reminding me of the Maverick Viñales who wanted out of his Yamaha contract, so intentionally blew up an engine and then said, Yamaha aren't reliable, I need out of this contract. Remember that? When he was
Yeah.
like riding around and just intentionally ramming the throttle to blow up the engine. It's too many things. It's too many things. And it's too many things. Like, okay, it would be one thing for Mark to say, I'm injured, I can't give him 100%, but my bike is at the front of the grid. So I'm going to ride it and I'm just going to get points. And then when the brakes come up, which they have, I'm going to get surgery and I'm going to take a rest. It would be another thing for like Mark to say, well, the bike's just not there, right? I'm slow because the bike's not there. And it would be another thing for Mark to then kick off with Ducati because they've given him a bike that isn't there, even though they promised him a World Championship committing bike.
Yeah.
That's different because the bike is at the front and Mark is at the front or whatever. Like to be at the back, to be slow, to be injured, and to be kicking off with Tech 3 for no apparent reason, right? Because they've denied the allegations and he's denied allegations. It's too many things. It is too many things to give Mav a free pass on any of it. So, yeah, I've given him a 1. I think it's poor. I think KTM are going to drop him. And for his own health, I kind of hope that they do. You know, because he can be a good rider. He'll come back or he'll find something else to do.
Yeah.
But KTM need to drop him just to get rid of this friction and so that he can recover.
Yeah, I think obviously we don't see all this on the TV. We don't see all the background stuff. We don't hear about it. We only hear about rumors. And what they say in interviews. Enea's kind of been non-existent from what we've seen on TV. We either see him pulling into the pits or we just see his number finishing. Yeah. Which is a nice change compared to last year, being as someone that likes KTM. I mean, it won't be next year, but that's a different story.
I think they'll sign him. I think they'll sign him to Tech 3 next year.
Yeah. I think Enea's found to grips with that bike because obviously last year he had quite a lot of issues with it, getting used to it because he's come from a title winning bike into something that's sort of midfield to back end. So yeah, give him sort of a 5.5, 6. I think I'd give him a 6. He's performed well. He's consistent. He's not had as much of a crash-ridden season as kind of last year. It's a nice change of pace for him. Kind of gives him that confidence to build on. As someone that kind of, if I was to pick two of the riders that I like from KTM, it'd be Acosta and Vinales. As kind of a Vinales fan, the situation is kind of annoying to see and kind of
crazy, right?
It's not a pleasant kind of situation to have, especially when you know about it. You start watching the race and you see him at the back of the grid. You're thinking, is he actually this slow? Or is he doing something else? Is he trying to do this? Is he trying to do that? It's just not a pleasant thing to see. You know, it comes back to the whole thing. This is a sport. Everyone should be pushing to their max, pushing their best, doing as well as they can do.
Yeah, go on.
If someone is intentionally being slow to make a point, you can't really be like support him on that. I understand calling out your team if they're doing something wrong. If they say, "Oh, we promised you a midfield bike, but we're delivering a back end bike," I'd understand him calling them out. I don't think they did that. There's no reason for them to do that. To promise a certain bike, bearing in mind their financial status at the start of the season. You can't commit to a bike finishing midfield if your bike was already in the midfield the previous season and you don't have the money to invest. Obviously, he has a bit of a history with trying to manipulate contracts and whatnot with Yamaha. Who said that? Who? So, I mean, I don't want to be mean and give him a 1.
He doesn't know you.
But I kind of have to give him a 1. It's kind of the case. I like him, and he has been, I won't say one of the best riders, but they mentioned the stat on the Saxon Ring coverage. I'm pretty sure this is what it was. He's one of the only riders to win with three different manufacturers. Which, bear in mind, if that's your history, it doesn't seem good that you're now at the back of the grid in the KTM.
Yeah.
you clearly have this innate ability to get race wins and podiums and points in a bike. I'm pretty sure last year, without his tyre disqualification issue, he would have won a race. You can clearly ride that bike last year. I doubt it's got significantly worse when Acosta is doing better.
Yeah.
When Ane is doing better. When Brad Binder isn't doing any worse.
Yep.
It's not a good sign. It doesn't look... It looks intentionally being bad.
Yeah.
To do something.
Yeah.
And obviously Gunterstein hasn't got the cleanest of track records from Formula 1. He's had instances of...
Dude.
We don't move enough.
All right, let's give Mav a break and move on to Jonas Folger.
Yeah.
Once we can get the freaking lights working in here.
There we go.
So, Jonas Folger, 33-year-old motorbike rider. Motorbike rider. He is with KTM and he replaced Maverick Vinales at the French Grand Prix in Le Mans. He qualified 22nd and he finished the race 16th. And he scored no points, and he completed all of the laps, and he did okay. I just gave him a 2 because honestly, that's what Mav would have done, and he didn't kick off at Gunther Steiner. So a 2 seems fair. One race, similar performance to Mav, but without the drama.
Yeah, I give him 2.5, no drama.
Okay, so Mav 111. Anea Bastianini, 5 from me, 6 from Jake, 5.5 in total. And Jonas Folger, 2, 2.5, 2.3 total. That brings KTM Tech 3, 3.5 from 3.3 from me, 3.5 from Jake, 3.4 in total. KTM 4.4 from me, 4.8 and 4.6 in total. Right. Yamaha, and we have about 10 minutes left to do this. So, Fabio Quartararo and Alex Rins, 10-1 in qualifying on Saturdays, but in terms of points, Quartararo is 14th with 55 points, and Alex Rins is 19th with 21 points. Significant gap in performance. Quartararo has an innate ability to put that Yamaha in places it shouldn't be. There was a bit of a rough patch in the middle where it seemed like he just wasn't trying. He was Maverick Vinales in this. I think that was around the time he signed his new Honda contract. And since then, the performances have been kind of okay. They're both developing the new M1 package. I've given Quartararo a 6 and Rins a 3. I think Quartararo has been above average, but not as good as we've seen him. And Rins has been below average. Neither have been re-signed to Yamaha next year.
Yeah, I'd agree 6-3. I think there was a few races where the Yamaha package seemingly wasn't very strong and they were all at the back of the grid.
Yep.
And again, that could just be because the engine just isn't there.
Yeah.
There's just no power from that engine right now. And honestly, bearing in mind that I am a Quartararo fan, bear in mind I don't support factory decay, so I have to move from Acosta.
It's rude, really.
Quartararo it's nice to kind of be away from Yamaha for next year. I don't want to have another season where I'm sat watching my rider finish 16th, 17th, not get any points, or drag a bike up to like 5th in qualifying and then have to watch him drop down lap by lap by lap. Moving to Honda, so not a bad bike to be on. Alex Rins, again, just second rider, very clear second rider. Can't really criticize him because he's not really, he's not poor, he's not awful. He's had his moments, but he's fighting out with Jack Miller, which is kind of where you expect him to be, being a second rider of factory. So yeah, 3. It's pretty average, really.
So 6 and 3, you agree with me on that?
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, then they get an average of 6 and 3, which takes Yamaha. We haven't done Augusto Fernandez yet. We'll get there. So Augusto Fernandez, he has taken part in 3 Grand Prix this year. Spain in Jerez, and then Catalonia, and the Netherlands. In Jerez, he started 16th and finished 20th. In Catalonia, he started 21st and finished 12th and scored 4 points. And in the Netherlands, he started 20th and finished 15th with 1 point and has 5 points to his name. Because of that, he is the second highest placed reserve rider of the year and has half the points of Maverick Vinales. Because of that, I have given him a 4, which means I actually think he's done better than Alex Rins this year.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of what he's done is kind of been testing the M1 updates.
He has, but also I look at it and I go, okay, 3 races, 5 points, and no consistency. He's not on the bike every weekend.
Yeah.
Now, there's been 11 races, so if I times his point score by 3, assuming the same level of consistency, I get to 15 points, which is 6 behind Alex Rins. And Alex Rins has been on the bike every single week.
Every single week, every single session for multiple years. So
he should be more than 6 points ahead. Yeah. Or at least Augusto Fernandez should have no points.
Yeah.
Based on that maths, right? If 21 is truly the most points that a Yamaha rider can score, which we know it isn't, but if it is, Augusto Fernandez should have no points.
Yeah.
Okay, Catalonia was crazy.
Yep.
But Rins was in that race too.
Yep.
How many points did Rins score in Catalonia? I hear you ask, Jake. And honestly, it's a great question.
I don't think he scored any, did he?
I'm about to tell you. 2.
That's behind him then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
Yep. I think obviously we have to take into account a little bit with Fernandez is that he is testing new updates to that M1.
Yeah.
So the team will want him to get embroiled in fights and possibly crashes and damaging his ride to get the data to be able to improve.
Yeah.
So that's
still outperforming Rins.
Still outperforming Rins. If he was given the factory bike as it is without worrying about crashing and damaging updates and not getting data, he could maybe be beating Rins.
Could maybe be beating Rins.
Could probably.
Don't have a speculation hat with me today.
No, but could be.
Could be.
So I think a 4 is pretty fair for Fernandez, and you know, as someone that has been supporting Yamaha for a few years now, I'm never worried about him crashing off or not finishing a race, even when he is testing new updates, because you kind of know, he'll finish the race, it'll be fine. Whereas with Rins and Miller, and even with Quartararo, you're kind of like, I might not finish in the points there.
Sure.
That's a big deal for, you know, not only their money for the team, but also confidence for the riders. And you know, I don't think Miller and Toprak have a sign next year. So
Toprak does.
Does he? Okay. So it's there's obviously that comparison to other riders we have to take into account a little bit. You know, bearing in mind that Fernandez has only been in 3 races.
Yeah.
But I think a 4 is pretty fair. Great.
4 it is. So 444, which takes factory Yamaha to 4.3, 4.3, 4.3.
Yep.
Okay, finishing off very quickly with Pramac because there's actually not a huge amount to talk about. MotoGP rookie Toprak Razgatlioglu sits 21st in the championship with 12 points ahead of Maverick Vinales. He sits 1 place and 7 points behind his teammate Jack Miller. Toprak and Miller have been brought into Pramac for different reasons. Miller is Yamaha's development transition rider, super consistent,
easy to collect data from.
Yeah. Toprak has come across because next year they're switching to Pirelli tires, and he has years of experience with Pirelli riders, huge success in World Superbikes, and has been brought over to help Yamaha in that transition too. So difficult to rate them. In qualifying, it's 7-4 in favor of Miller, but in the race, not much difference, to be honest, because neither one of them is scoring a huge amount of points. I gave them a 4 for Toprak and a 5 for Jack. Because I think Jack has been slightly better, but I also expected him to be better. But I don't think Jack has been as good as Fabio. And Toprak has been significantly better than Rins, but not quite as good as Jack. That's how I kind of rated them.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think I don't think Miller will outperform Toprak over the full season.
Yep.
Just because obviously Toprak will start to get to grips with Michelin rubber and the bike as a whole, and obviously in terms of Yamaha, Toprak is kind of their future. Miller is kind of their past.
Yep.
To a degree. Obviously, Toprak isn't particularly, he's not like 18, 19, like Moreira age, but he is young to a degree in comparison, so...
He's not that young.
He's
He's not that young.
I'm pretty sure he's mid-20s, is he not?
He's 29.
Oh, okay.
Jack Miller's 31.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I think...
And Mark's 33.
Yeah, I think a Miller 5 and a Toprak 4 is kind of fair. I think Toprak will keep will be involved with Yamaha for a few years.
Toprak has confirmed at Pramac next year. Miller has yet to confirm.
Yeah, I don't think Miller will, if I'm honest. But obviously, I think Yamaha, their factory is going to complete shift. So I think it's not really the case of any of them driving for their ride. They're just riding for their their own confidence, their own sort of self-belief in themselves. So I think we're sort of getting the best out of Fabio.
So come on, give me your numbers.
Fabio 6, Miller 5, Toprak 4, Rins 3.
Okay. So Toprak gets unsurprisingly a 4 on average, and Miller gets a 5 on average, which means that Pramac Yamaha get a 4.5 from both of us and a 4.5 average, which brings Yamaha to a 4.4 from both of us and a 4.4 on average in total. So I will just run through all of those numbers again before we end the podcast, and then we will go from there. So get ready for the numbers. Jake, are you ready for the numbers?
I'm ready.
I don't think you're ready. I actually don't think you're ready for this, Jelly.
I'm ready.
I'm going to go Ryder, Josh, Jake, average. Bez, 8, 6, 7. Martin, 8.5, 8, 8.3. Fernandez, Raul, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5. Ayagura, 9.5, 9, 9.3. Bagnaia, 5.5, 5, 8, 5.3. Marc Marquez, 9, 9, 9. Alex Marquez, 6.5, 6, 6.3. Fermin Aldeguer, 6.5, 5, 5.8. Franco Morbidelli, 222. Fabio Di Gianantonio, 8.5, 8, 8.3. Johan Zarco, 7.5, 5.5, 6.5. Diogo Moreira, 7.5, 6.5, 7. Luca Marini, 7, 6.5, 6.8. Joan Mir, 2, 5, 3.5. Brad Binder, 3.33. Pedro Acosta, 8.9, 8.5. Maverick Vinales, 1.11. Enea Bastianini, 5, 6, 5.5. Fabio Quartararo, 6.66. Rins, 3.33. Toprak 444 and Jack Miller 555. The reserve riders are Lorenzo Savadori 555, Michele Piro 222, Aika Lekawona 8.5, 8, 8.3, Cal Crutchlow 777, Jonas Folger 2, 2.5, 2.3, and Augusto Fernandez 444. That takes our teams to Aprilia 7.2, 6.3, 6.8, Trackhouse 9, 8.8, 8.9, Ducati 7.3, 7, 7.1, Gresini 5.8, 5.3, 5.5, VR46 5.3, 5, 5.1, Honda LCR 7.3, 6.3, 6.8, Honda HRC 4.5, 5.8, 5.1, KTM 5.5, 6, 5.8, Tech 3, 3.3, 3.7, 3.5, Yamaha 4.3, 4.3, 4.3, and Pramac 4.5, 4.5, 4.5. That takes our manufacturers: Aprilia 8.1, 7.5, 7.8, Ducati 6.1, 5.8, 5.9, Honda 5.9, 6, 6, KTM 4.4, 4.8, 4.6, Yamaha 4.4, 4.4, 4.4. Which means our rider of the first half of the season is Ayagura with 9.3. Our team of the first half of the season is Trackhouse Aprilia with 8.9, and our manufacturer of the first half of the season is Aprilia with 7.8. That tracks pretty much. Just before we finish the podcast, let's just confirm the seats that are now taken for 2027. So at Aprilia, we have Bez and Bagnaia, Ducati, Marquez and Acosta, Gresini, Mir and Holgado. Honda have just announced their signature of Fabio Quartararo. LCR have got Zarco and a blank seat. Yamaha have got Martina Nagura. VR46 are yet to announce. Pramac have announced Razgat Lioglu. KTM, Alex Marquez and Didier. Tech 3 and Trackhouse are also yet to announce.
Yep.
Any more for any more? That was a long speech.
It was.
Thank you to Jake for getting involved with us today, and thank you for your questions that came in as well. If you want that to be you can get in touch with us via our social channels. The best way to get in touch with us is to head over to our Patreon, AAT Apex, and become a member. It's completely free, and you can get involved with our From Our Perspective series as well as race chats. And you can, of course, send us your questions for every podcast recording session. Alternatively, you can get in touch via Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter using the handle at AAT Apex. And finally, why not leave us a review and a comment on Spotify or wherever you like to get your podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube, Amazon Music, Castbox, Deezer, and in various other places, just not Apple Podcasts. Next time out, we will have the Formula One mid-season driver ratings. There will be 3 of us in this room. There will be 5 of us in total rating the drivers, because I'm going to send Jake a list. And Jake is going to complete the list.
Yep.
Aren't you, Jake?
Yep.
You're going to complete the list. Aren't you, Jake?
Yes.
Because in December, I sent you a list and you didn't complete the list. So this time you're going to complete the list, aren't you, Jake?
Yes, I'm going to complete the list.
Look into the camera. Look into my eyes. Look into the camera.
I can't do both at the same time.
Tell me you're going to finish the list.
I'm going to finish the list.
Tell them you're going to finish the list.
I'm going to finish the list.
Jake is going to finish the list.
I'm going to
Say it again.
I'm going to finish the list.
That's it. Good lad. Right. With that, it's time to end the podcast. Thank you, Jake, for joining me for this one. And we will see you next time out for some mid-season F1 ratings. Please enjoy the British Grand Prix.
Yep, we will do.
And I guess Aragon by the time we next talk about MotoGP.
So, congratulations, Mark, on the 37 points.
Yep. Next time you hear this podcast, Marc Marquez will be the clear leader of the championship, followed by Ari Gura and Fabio Di Gianantonio, and we will have been proved correct. See you next time. Okay, bye.
Bye.